Today's garden tour is going to take us through the 55-mile-an-hour garden. You're going to notice right off the bat why it's called the 55-mile-an-hour garden as you're seeing the traffic as it's just whipping past. There's a lot of beautiful color in this garden. When we planted it, we knew we had to have some very eye-catching color that's going to stop people as they're driving past. And I think you're going to enjoy all the color that's going on in this garden as we take a tour through the 55-mile-an-hour garden. So let's go ahead and take a walk through the garden. We're going to start off at the back side of the garden this time. All the tours we usually start off at the front end, but I think there's so much beautiful color on the back side that is kind of a missed opportunity that I just kind of skirt over when we're doing these tours. So on the back end of this bed, we planted some annuals just to kind of give it some consistent color throughout the summer. When we planted this bed originally, we put a lot of the shrubs in this area to give some staple or some foundation plants that would kind of get taller than the fence and just add some structure to this garden bed. So let's take a look at what we're seeing. First of all, there's a lot of sun-credible yellow sunflowers, and we did that because when we get to the other side, we have a beautiful yellow flower on the other side, and it just really ties the garden bed together. There's some sun patiens. There's sun patiens dark purple. We've got verbena meteor showers, which we plant that for the butterflies. Coleus, because it always has just a great foliage color. It's torchlight. And then we've got the begonia selenia yellow, which we've been really impressed with this year. The first shrub we have is a pugster butterfly bush, and it's got some buds on it. Not quite ready to bloom here out in this garden, so probably by the next garden tour those flowers will be blooming. We love the pugsters because they're compact and they have really huge blooms once they start to flower. We also put some of the pillar Rosa Sharon in here just to give us some columnar height. It's not blooming quite yet. We're a zone 6A garden, and this plant actually pretty much died back to the ground during the winter. So it's taken a little bit of time to catch up, put on its foliage growth before it will start putting on some flower growth. So we'll continue to see, hopefully later on as the summer goes on, we'll start to see the beautiful, I think this is purple pillar. We're beginning to see those flowers later on in the season. So we'll see how that does. We just kind of continued with the annuals, repeating them as we went through the bed just to create some consistency with the look of this area. For winter interest, we did the Thuya Fluffy, which has really beautiful chartreuse yellow, I guess more yellow than chartreuse, evergreen foliage. This Fluffy, I think, gets about 5 foot tall or so when it's mature. So it should get just nicely over the top of the fence. These shrubs have been in this bed, we're going on year 3. So some of them are still growing, some of them are more toward their mature height, but that's what's nice about a garden is you can kind of watch it as it continues to put on its growth. And with these tours, you know, looking back over the years, you can see from one year to the next how the plants have put on their growth and to what growth rate they are growing. In front of us here we have the Quick Fire Fab Hydrangea. Beautiful big blooms. This is going to turn a beautiful pinkish magenta color as these blooms continue to age. I love the hardy hydrangeas because they're reliable. We always know that we're going to get blooms year after year, and that's certainly true here of the Quick Fire Fab. More sun patiens, begonias, and sunflowers. Next we have a lilac. This is the Bloomerang dark purple lilac. So Bloomerang is a reblooming lilac. It bloomed in May, and it's going to rebloom throughout the summer. And as you can see here on the plant, it is doing its rebloom. Now I know you're probably going, oh, big deal, Heidi, this is like not that much flowers. And you're not wrong, this isn't a lot of flowers. But have you seen a lilac that reblooms? Most lilacs bloom in the spring, and that's all you get, just some spring blooms. But for a lilac to give us flowers throughout the summer is pretty impressive, and I love the scent of lilac. So it's really nice to be standing here and have the memories of the lilac blooming this spring, but yet knowing that it is mid-July. I'm sure you can tell by now why this is called 55 mile an hour. I'm sure you're getting a lot of road noise coming through my mic. Whenever a semi goes past, I kind of stop, take a breath, and let them make their noise before I continue on with talking. So definitely a lot of traffic that's going fast. We have the sun patiens again with the Surefire begonias here in this grouping. We've got Surefire White and Surefire Cordial Cherry, which all of these are in full sun and are doing fabulous. For winter interest, we planted some of the ilex. We have Mr. Poppins and Berry Poppins out here in this bed. We need the Mr. because that's what gives us the berries on the Berry Poppins. So here we've got some berries starting. These will be red in the winter. It's going to lose its leaves and just remain with all these beautiful red berries. So we wanted to, have a garden that not only reflected the beautiful color we're seeing here in the summer, but also giving us just some interesting color in the winter as well. Here's an oak leaf hydrangea. This is the only oak leaf hydrangea we have planted here on the property. And so when this garden bed went into play, I says we need to get an oak leaf hydrangea planted. Just because if you're coming here to visit us, we want to be able to show you a lot of the plants that we carry. And I'm really happy with this. This is a Gatsby's pink hydrangea. And let's go in and take a closer look at the flowers. More of a lace cap look. Quite a lot of blooms. I'm really impressed with the amount of blooms on the Gatsby hydrangea. And the nice thing with this is the foliage also turns really beautiful in the fall. It'll get really deep purple, kind of like what we're seeing here on these leaves now, but the whole plant will have a beautiful deep purple coloration to it in the fall. So beautiful flowers in the summer, but equally as beautiful foliage in the fall. When we planted this bed, we kind of incorporated symmetry a little bit into the shrubs that are in it, just to give it kind of a consistent feel. And so here's another holly for the winter interest. Some more of the beautiful annuals, just giving that constant color. Another bloomerang lilac. And I think this is nice because you can see, like, I'm not just showing you one lilac that's reblooming. Here I'm showing you two, so you know that it's actually a real thing. So we've got the blooms that are blooming right now, but if we go in and take a closer look, you can see there's a lot of buds that are starting to form on the tips of this new growth. So these will all be flowers in the upcoming weeks. It smells lovely right now. The Suncredible sunflowers, I love them because they bloom all summer long. A lot of your typical sunflowers, your big flower-headed ones, one head of a flower and it's done. Where Suncredible just continues to send out more flowers throughout the season with their beautiful, beautiful yellow blooms. Got another quick fire fab over here, looking just that fabulous. Another fluffy, and then another of the pillar hibiscus, and on the end another of the Buddleia Pugster Amethyst Butterfly Bush. So here in Michigan, the butterfly bush, along with those Roses Sharon, typically will die back to the ground. So we have to wait for them to grow from the ground up every year. So sometimes we do see some delay in butterfly bush and in Roses Sharon flowering, just because they're putting a lot of their energy into just getting, leafed back up, foliage back up for the season. We're going to take you to the other side of the 55-mile-an-hour garden and just show you what it's all about. Look at that beautiful, beautiful planting of the Supertunia Vista Jazzberry, along with the Macedonia Gold Dust. So some of you are thinking, what is she talking about? What is the name? How do you spell it? What is it? Because that is just stunning yellow. So I do have a plant tag here to show you the name of the plant. So there it is. This is the plant we plant in mass all over the gardens here at Garden Crossings, because we just love how it creates such an intense yellow border of color, and it really is striking. Pair it with this Vista Jazzberry and it's just breathtaking. So that is our 55-mile-an-hour garden. We hope you enjoyed it. If you are looking to create a statement in your garden, look no further than the 55-mile-an-hour garden here at Garden Crossings. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. Thanks for watching. I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings.